I was gonna have something snappy, Bill, but I'm tired. I don't have anything. I'll just say all right.
Well, you could try and be snappy.
Oh, don't even. Now, see, you don't make me see. Just leave it alone.
I was gonna say, let it go.
I think we all know I'm very snappy. So come on.
You are.
Oh, this is being what? You know what? I forget this is being recorded. Stop talking. Just stop.
Maybe you ought to come on too, so we know it's really you.
Oh, it's an imposter.
Recording in progress.
Miss Laura?
We're just waiting on Laura now. We've got 1 minute and then I can start the meeting. Tick tock, tick tock.
Did you get the paint?
What paint?
Yeah, whatever. Did he leave it down there?
He left it down there, yes.
Okay. I don't want Walter to get mad at me. Thank you.
You're welcome, anytime.
Okay, tomorrow?
Now, 4 o'clock. I am going to call the special meeting of the Woodstock Town Board of October 5th to order for the purpose of the town clerk presenting the tentative budget, supervisor's budget for the fiscal year 2022 to the town board. Since we're not in person, she can't hand it to you, but she has emailed it. You have emailed it to them?
No, I did it to the press. I didn't know that you needed me to email.
Oh, well, I'll email it to the rest of you. Give me 1 second while I do that. And then I'll read my message. Sorry, I didn't tell you that.
Yeah, no,
Forward to town board. Okay.
you've been presented.
You've been presented with the budget.
We've been served.
You've been served, yeah. So the 2022 budget message, the town taxable value for this year is $1,417,196,739. For all fund expenses, the combined levy, including the special districts of water, hamlet sewer, on-site sewer, gardening, lighting, and lighting, is $6,683,320, which represents a 4.784% increase. Please note that the fire district and library district budgets are not included in this calculation. Distinguishing features of the 2022 budget, the combined levy of $6,698,320 is $314 below the maximum tax cap of $6,698,634. Water rates will increase 2 cents to 44 cents per 100 gallons, with a meter charge, base charge, a quarterly charge for water to increase $1 to $18. Sewer rates remain unchanged at $1.02 per 100. The quarterly base charge remains unchanged at $17. This year's increase, I'll remind the board, last year we committed to a 0 increase, so we held the line on a number of things or cut back severely. And I will remind everyone at that point, you know, that I said that we would sail past the tax cap. A couple of things worked in our favor, and that hasn't happened yet, although now the budget's in your hands, so we'll see where we go from there. But some of the things that we do have almost 5% increase, and some of the things that increased them were the restoration of a number of lines that we cut out due to the pandemic, including the budgets for the youth center and the senior rec programs. Also, at the end of 2020, and we were aware of this, that we were going to have some surplus that we used. We kept a number of lines down, contractual lines for paper goods and stamps and what. Who's got the barking dog? Does the dog like the budget or not? So a number of those lines have now been restored to pre-pandemic numbers. Also, another line that I did increase, we've seen more enforcement, which we've all called for, with regard to short-term rentals, with the dumping case up in Shady, and a number of other things where we've been using the attorney to take cases to court. So I increased that line in anticipation that we might see it continue for a little while. There were two other items that we added to the budget. One, we started this year with a floater, part-time floater to help the different departments. Paul Smith, who I think you've all met, has been working part-time, mostly doing scanning for the building department, but at some point that's going to lessen up, and he'll be able to work with some of the other departments on a part-time basis as well. The other one, although I do have a pinky swear from her and a promise of several more years of service, we have included in the budget to hire a part-time person to come in and start to assume and help and learn the duties of the bookkeeper. And so we do have a number in there. Probably mid-year, we'll start to look for someone. So that's it for the budget. I have a couple of resolutions that I'll run through. The first, be it resolved to schedule public hearings for the 2022 budget for the Woodstock town, the town of Woodstock Water District, the 2022 budget for the on-site sewer district, and the 2022 budget for the Hamler Sewer District as follows. October 19th, 2021 at 7:30 for the Water District, October 19th, 2021 at 7.
Well, hold on a second. No, are you scheduling that for us? Yeah.
This is the public hearing, and this will be at our
Right.
business meeting.
Okay, say the dates again.
The 19th, which is our business meeting, 2
Okay,
weeks,
okay.
2 weeks.
Yeah, Ashley sent out an agenda, and so Bill is really reading off the agenda. So if you find the email Ashley sent, it does have it in there.
2021 at 7:35 for the on-site sewer district, and October 19th, 2021 at 7:40 for the Hamlet Sewer District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, the second, actually, I skipped a resolution. So as is customary, next week, we typically do budget hearings with the different departments. And what we usually do is set a couple of days. Monday is a holiday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Typically, we pick three days, and we have a couple of sessions that go 2 to 3 hours. So anybody have strong feelings or times that we can't do it?
That's what I thought you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm pulling up my work calendar now. So that's my day calendar, because it'll be during the day, I'm sure.
Yes.
So it'll take me a moment to get my calendar up.
Just so
But
you
you're
know,
hoping for,
there's an oversight committee meeting on Tuesday morning, but that should not interfere.
Okay.
I'm gonna be-
These
Go ahead,
meetings are going to be in person. I don't know that I could do a hybrid just yet. So last year, if you recall, we met outside on the porch. We did it outside. Everybody wore masks, and we're only meeting. The public, of course, is invited, but rarely shows up. And we'll be meeting with 1 or 2 members from each of the different departments.
I'm going to be traveling on Tuesday, Bill.
Okay.
So I know for me that would be a hard day. I work from home on Thursday, so I
Okay.
have more flexibility there. But obviously, I'll try to depending on the time, if it's either like first thing in the morning or late afternoon, I might be able to
Okay,
figure
I
that out.
know, yeah, I have well, actually on Tuesday, I am totally open Tuesday. Except for, as Richard points out, we're in a meeting from 10 to 11:30 Tuesday morning with the housing oversight.
okay, but that's no good for Reggie. How about Wednesday?
That's
Yeah,
trash pickup day on my calendar.
Trash pickup?
Oh,
Tell-
that's important. That's gonna
tell
take
you-
all day.
Tell your
That's what-
brother-in-law to put your garbage out for you.
Okay, that's just my reminder to put the garbage out so my wife doesn't yell at me. So.
Okay,
I
So-
gotta go dump his garbage in the street, so he thinks it's a bear on Wednesday.
that's killing me. I have a very important meeting to go to in a little while, so I do need to wrap this up. The 13th, how about 9 o'clock on
Well,
Wednesday?
I can do on the 13th, I can do 9:15. I have an issue with 9 o'clock. I won't be there until 9:15.
Are
Okay,
you saying that these meetings run, you said for 2 to 3 hours?
yes,
I have a home share meeting at 10.
You're
And
gonna
then it
line
tells me-
everybody up to come to the meeting, right?
what's that?
You're just gonna line everybody up back to back to come to these meetings.
Correct.
So the
Everybody gets-
depart-
Every department, there'll be 15, 20 minutes per department. 5? Jackie only needs 5. Okay, so and then how about Thursday then?
Thursday's my better day, yeah.
The 14th?
Well, we
Okay.
normally have, well, how many hours of meetings do we need altogether? Because, because we get all the departments, so we normally do it in more than one day, because we do like half the departments one day and half another day.
Right.
So how many hours?
It depends on how quickly we get through them. I mean, they could be in 4 to 5 hours. It could be a little longer.
Yeah, so I almost have my calendar up.
You're killing me, Laura.
Sorry.
I tell you what, let me read a long resolution while you guys are pulling up your calendar. Okay, so I sent you all this resolution. This is about the expunging of an easement on a piece of property. Let me read the resolution, and if there's any questions, I can answer them. This is an agreement and indenture made on the 5th of October, 2021 between Anne Marie Gilly, who has an address of 275 Meets Mountain Road, Woodstock, New York, 12498, herein referred to as party of the first, in the town of Woodstock, a municipal corporation having an address of 45 Como Drive, Woodstock, New York, 12498, herein referred to as the party of the second. Whereas the party of the first was presently the owner of a parcel of tract land consisting of 4.796 acres, more or less, under SBL 27.1-7-8.100 in the town of Woodstock, Ulster County, New York, which lands are more particularly described as the following deeds. The party of the first obtained her original parcel on a deed from Angela Campanelli dated July 10, 1996, and recorded at the Ulster County Clerk's Office on July 17th, 1996, in Library 2603 at page 284. Thereafter, the party of the first and the party of the second entered into an exchange of lands, with the party of the first conveying to the party of the second an 0.846 acre parcel by a deed recorded on July 22, 2005 as an instrument number 2005-19268, and the party of the second conveying to the party of the first an 0.846 acre parcel by a deed recorded on July 22, 2005 as instrument 2005-19269. The subdivisions of lands was approved by the town of Woodstock Planning Board, and the map was filed in the office of the Ulster County Clerk on March 9, 2005 as map number 05-200. The party of the second's predecessor originally acquired the lands by way of a deed from N. Jansen Fowler as executor of the estate of Peter Whitehead, recorded on April 30th, 1976, in Liber 1353 of deeds at page 1008. And whereas the aforementioned land of the party of the first were originally conveyed subject to and burdened by a certain easement for the benefit of the party of the second's part's predecessor, which created a 100-foot wide restricted easement area of the lands of the party of the first part, and which provided that no building, structure, or drain field should be erected within 50 feet of the westerly boundary line for the purpose of ensuring against any possible contamination of the water supply of the lands of the party of the second part. The aforementioned easement is more specifically described in a deed recorded at the Ulster County Clerk's Office in Liber 1999 of deeds at page 252. And whereas the parties hereto desire to permanently release, quitclaim, remove, extinguish, and terminate the easement, now therefore, in consideration of $1, lawful money and other good and valuable considerations being mutually acknowledged as received in exchange, is hereby agreed as follows. Any and all interest, easement, and or right acquired by the party of the second over and through the aforementioned lands of the party of the first part in connection with the aforementioned 100-foot wide restricted area are hereby extinguished, terminated, discharged, and forever released, and of no further force and effect whatsoever now or in the future, and said covenants and easements shall no longer be recited in future deeds of conveyance and shall no longer run with the lands. The word party shall be construed as if it reads parties whenever the sense of this instrument is required. Do I have a second for purpose of discussion?
Second for purpose of discussion.
So back in,
Okay,
do you have a
well,
question?
real quick, and that was a wonderful reading. I'm going to put that in the highlights of my time on the board.
Thank you.
Could you explain how does anything change here? I mean, we
No.
removed the easement,
No,
and does the same concern still exist?
no. So what happened was Anne Marie Gilly purchased this property back, well, 96.
96.
She purchased a partially constructed house. The owner of the property at that time, one Barry Neer, bought the property. He had it surveyed. The surveyor noted, I guess Barry had stakes out that said house, and they put the stakes on the survey. Unfortunately, the surveyor noted it as house and not proposed house location. The house was moved then, and it was moved into the 100-foot easement that was on the property. The house got built, the septic got put in, everything went along swimmingly. And then the house got sold to Anne Marie. Anne Marie at some point went to she put a swimming pool in, and she based it all on the survey that said the house was in a certain location, when in fact it had been moved 100 yards into the easement. The swimming pool then got built on town property, which was Peter Whitehead's property. It had been conveyed to the town. At that point, that was the discussion about we swapped 0.846 acres. She gave us a piece on the bottom of her property, which connects to ours, and we gave her the piece where the swimming pool was. So the effects, Peter Whitehead wanted that 100-foot boundary. The new property, in effect, gives us that, but we're also not ever going to develop that property. And we have a health department now that makes sure that all septics are acceptable and safe for other wells. So it really isn't an issue at this point. Somewhere along the line, when they did all this, the actual easement never got extinguished. It should have been back in 2005. And so Anne Marie is now selling the piece of property. The new owner is saying, hey, look here, the house is built in the easement. I mean, technically, if somebody were to enforce the easement, they could push to have the house taken down. So that's where we're at. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So did we pull up our map or our calendars?
Yeah, so I have my calendar. I'm good Tuesday, except for now these are in person, you said.
In person.
So I have to allow time to get from Zoom meetings to in person. So as Richard pointed out, we do have a Housing Oversight Task Force meeting from 10 to 11:30 on Tuesday. So I could be at your meeting
Well,
starting.
Reggie is no good at all for Tuesday, so
Okay,
we're on to
so
Wednesday, the 13th.
Wednesday, I'm good from 9:15 on.
Okay, so that's one day. The 14th, that Thursday.
Well, that Thursday, I have some personal appointments that really shouldn't be moved. And with that, I'm available noon on Thursday.
Does noon work for everybody else?
Could probably do, yeah, till maybe 3:30 or 4 on
Oh,
Thursday.
that's plenty of time. And Friday, I don't think we're gonna need Friday, but I would recommend that we schedule one for Friday as well.
I'm
What time?
available all day. I'm available all day Friday.
So why don't we say Friday at 9?
Okay.
Be it resolved to
Wait,
schedule,
I guess you're gonna read them. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to write them down.
be it resolved to schedule budget hearings for October 13th at 9:15 a.m., October 14th at 12 p.m., and October 15th at 9 a.m. at the Como property.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So just for the purpose of my calendar, I should block off 3 hours each day?
I would say that's safe. I mean, we
Okay,
probably won't run that long. All right, we got that. Be it resolved to authorize the town clerk to advertise the salary of elected officials in town's official newspapers. Town supervisors, $61,005. Town council, there were 4, $11,703 each. Highway superintendent, $74,784. Town clerk, $55,375.
second,
All in favor?
aye. And I guess, Bill, and just, so this was all, you increased by 2%? Is that what the formula is?
This is 3%. This all has to be approved by the board, but this would be the maximum.
3%. Okay, thank you.
Be it resolved to accept the resignation of Lori Hamilton from the Woodstock Dispatch effective October 1st, 2021, and be it further resolved to thank her very, very much for her 40 years of service to the town.
Second,
Second that.
All in
we can,
favor?
we can maybe all second it. Lori's been wonderful.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Lori has agreed to come back part-time to oversee the management of dispatch. So be it resolved to rehire Lori Hamilton as part-time dispatcher at a rate of $29.69 per hour effective October 4th, 2021.
Second.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. That's it. Now I have an important meeting that I have to go to attend.
Well, I'd like to ask a question. I know, Bill, even if you have to go, because, you know, as you know, Bill, I've been looking at the scenic overlay. I heard Lauren took a look at the that scenic overlay issue. I was interested. I know even if you have to go, maybe Maria-Elena can be in charge for a moment.
Yep.
Because I did want to ask Lauren if he had an opinion. I heard he went and did a site visit of the site that could see the property, and I was interested in opinion.
Well, I'll listen for 1 minute to an opinion and then I'll get going. Lauren, did you have an opinion?
In my opinion, they probably skirted the law perfectly. And it doesn't seem like it's clear cut. It seems like it could be in 10 minutes, but we got to look at what's there now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
they did leave some trees there, and I've not read the exact wording of the law. My guess is they did, and probably that's the first part of my opinion. The second part of my opinion is I don't like to mess with the planning board very much, and they're looking at this, and their opinion was it was not clear cut. So I don't know. I don't like it much, but I don't know if it's a violation.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
my opinion.
I spoke to, what's his name, Jim Monserrat. And he told me Peter was up there, Stuart was up there. I guess you guys were up there too. And he's not a contiguous neighbor. That's one of the things I asked him. But and I agree with Lauren. I'm not sure what latitude we have as a town board to do anything about this. I mean, the planning board looks like they've scoped it out pretty well. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I'm hearing from Jim.
Well, the opinion, my opinion, if I can share, is yeah, everybody's doing their job, and the planning board, Peter has made a statement that he's documented and given to the secretary of the planning board. The concern that I have is in the scenic overlay law. It says that development needs to be as visually inconspicuous as possible. And my belief is, I went and took a site visit today of the property. I looked at Jim Monserrat's property, the view from his property before, and I looked at the property today. Ellen and Butch were kind enough to take me up there and look. And it just seems to me there's a flat area large enough, they could push the buildings back from the edge. To be as visually inconspicuous as possible, in my opinion, would be push the buildings back further from the edge and plant some trees. Because they took out a lot of trees, they topped some trees. And in my opinion, if they pushed the buildings back and planted some trees between the building and the edge, then it would be as visually inconspicuous as possible. I don't believe it's as visually inconspicuous as possible at the moment. So that's my concern. Lauren, I agree with your point.
But to be clear, the building's not there yet.
I saw the stakes of where it's going to be, and in my opinion, it will not be as visually inconspicuous as possible. And it goes on to say, when seen from a distance and from lower altitudes, it likely won't be seen from lower altitudes, but it will be seen from a distance, because when I was at Jim Monserrat's property, we could see the silver of a vehicle in that same spot. If you can see the silver metal from a vehicle, you'll see a whole building, and they're building 4 buildings and a pool.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a concern that it's not as visually inconspicuous as possible, and also minimize the tree cutting. Not clear to me that they did that either, because they topped a whole bunch of trees. They're less than the 8 inches or 6 inches, whatever. So they're allowed by some laws, but by the scenic overlay, minimize cutting of trees. There was no reason to top those trees, so they didn't minimize tree cutting either. So, so I will probably have a phone call with Peter Cross. I may or may not go to the planning board meeting. I understand the public hearing is on Thursday. I maybe have to do it as not a town board member, as a person in Woodstock who cares about the scenic overlay, because the town board
don't want to be impeached.
We don't want to be impeached. So I might have to do it and just say, hey, I'm a citizen that cares.
Let me just say for the record that the town board members have a right to have opinions, to ask questions, to go before, to participate in public hearings, and to have discussions. So any of you should feel free to do that.
Yeah.
There's
So I
no prohibition.
Can't tell them what to do. However,
No.
I do have, and part of this is because I was liaison on the comprehensive plan committee, so I was heavily involved at almost every meeting, and gave a lot of input to the comprehensive plan meeting. As you know, I'm the chair of the zoning revision committee. Scenic overlay is a topic there. There's been people, the Oranger property, what's he doing with that shiny roof everybody can see? People get very upset over scenic overlay infractions, and part of Woodstock's value, some might say, is we have the viewscape. The viewscape, and when you look at the pictures, the before and after pictures that were taken by Jim Monserrat's neighbor's son, who I think is also his neighbor, when you look at those pictures and you see this cut, when you look at the hillside and then the hillside behind it to the right and the hillside behind it to the left,
All right,
every
Laura,
hillside is straight.
let me just cut off for 1 second. I do have to go now. Maria-Elena, I'm going to pass the baton, the meeting over to you. Don't let them do anything rash. Bennett, it's nice to see you. If you two
Let's
guys
change
want
the budget, Maria. Let's change the budget.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna up it, Maria.
Hi, Bill.
We're going rogue.
We're gonna
Going
reword
on.
the salary.
if you and Maria-Elena want to come prior, we can, we're allowed to meet. We can discuss the budget process, what I've done to date. So feel free to reach out, you two, and the rest of the board. I mean, we can talk one-on-one. So with that, have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you. And I won't be too long, everybody. But as you look at the pictures, the before and after pictures, and you can see the viewscape of the mountain where they cut, the mountain behind it to the left, the mountain behind it to the right. all you see are trees, and then in where they cut, you see this gaping hole. So to me, it's going to impact the viewscape, and the viewscape is important to Woodstock. So anyway, I'll decide what I will or won't do, but I appreciate Lauren knowing where you stand. And
Well,
Richard, I know you had,
There's another point for you. You can see it from lower elevations. If you
Okay.
go to Cooper Lake, up on the Bearsville side, you come down the hill to the lake, go in that first parking spot, look across the lake, and you can see it.
right. Gotcha.
But,
Thank you.
I can show you my grandfather's home movies from 1939 when most of this place is open fields. So where does history begin is, I guess, is part of my question.
I know.
Okay, who knows? Also, I would like to say we've lost a couple really good men. We lost Mark Bronstein, who was a fine man who contributed heavily to all the geyser projects, and this morning we lost Jerry Washington, who
Oh no.
was one of a kind. So
I didn't really, Paul Washington sent the email about his father. I didn't put two and two together. That was Jerry Washington.
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
camole. Well, Jerry Washington has been outstanding in his contributions to the town.
he absolutely has.
Agreed.
It was,
And I didn't know Mark Bronstein as well, but I certainly have been heavily involved with Jerry Washington. And wow, that's huge.
so,
I understand Mark Bronstein is huge too. It's just I wasn't in the same circle. I know people are very sad about him as well.
He gave a lot to the community in more ways than people are aware of. So,
yes, he did.
yeah,
He was
both will
a
be
fine man.
missed. Yeah.
Wow.
Laura, is that it for now? Is that what you
Well,
want to express?
that is, unless anybody has any comments for me, I do plan to talk to Peter Cross about the scenic overlay issue. And I don't know, Richard, you said you saw it.
I didn't see it. I spoke to Jim Matsurat on the phone about it, and I said I'd do some backtracking and talk to you folks and see what you were thinking. Did you say Peter made a statement or wrote a statement, or?
Right, I'd have to walk across the room to get it, but
No, I'd like to see it. That's all.
yeah, I can ask Melissa to email it to you, because it was an email that he documented to Melissa about their site visit, and it said something to the effect of, it looks like they've done as good a job as they can to follow the guidelines. So his statement was they were doing what they can to follow the guidelines. I think on two counts, they did not follow the law overlook scenic overlay, because they didn't minimize tree cutting. They topped off trees they didn't have to top off. And as inconspicuous as possible, I don't think they did that either.
And you said you're up there with Butch and Ellen?
Today, correct.
And what's their thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, well, their thinking is, looks fine to them. I said, but the law, what about the law? So I mean, their thought, it's going to be a stone house. They were focused more on the materials, because scenic overlay also focuses on the materials so that your building blends in. They were focused on the materials, and it's going to be a stone house. It's going to blend in. And again, I seem to be the only one besides Jim Montserrat that thinks they're not totally going with the law. But I've been on my own in the past, so it's not a totally unfamiliar
Well, I'm
territory.
not saying you're on your own. I'm just trying to get clarifications from both sides. That's what I told Jim I would do. I heard his side. I just haven't talked to Peter or seen anything Peter wrote. So.
Well, Ellen or Butch don't.
Jim seems to be as concerned with the solar array they have planned to put up there as any of the buildings. I mean, if they do a stone building back from the ledge a little bit, I come from a different time here in this town when it was a lot of open territory. So I can see the issue, but if they have violated the law, we need clarification on that.
Right.
I think they've skirted it personally, but and I'm not saying I'm proud of that or anything, or that I think that's great, or I think that we've been invaded by an awful lot of money that has an awful lot of good attorneys. So,
well, that's what Butch and Ellen said as well. Actually, Ellen did more of the talking. Butch was there, but Ellen, but that was part of Ellen's point. And the other thing that Ellen said is, they bought the property, and I think that it's their constitutional right to build on what, 10% of it or whatever. It's like a 25-acre parcel. So that is their constitutional right to build on it. But I'm still going back to the scenic overlay, minimize tree cutting as inconspicuous as possible. And I don't think that they did either of those things. But the other thing is they did have a signed off site plan. And when I'm still trying to figure out which has a house on it, a proposed house site. So if the proposed house site is the same distance from the edge as where they clear cut, and that's been approved since like 2004, and the latest copy of it that got approved was 2017. If the house that they want to put up is the same spot, then by law they're approved because they've been approved since 2004. So that's the other piece of investigation I need to do. But again, they did take out, they did not minimize tree cutting, in my opinion, and they're not making it as inconspicuous as possible, in my opinion, by this location. Ellen says, well, it's going to be stone, so it'll be inconspicuous because it's going to be stone. So.
Well, by law, that has to be, it can't be white or anything like that. But is there anything in the site plan or any discussion of replanting or other plantings?
No, nothing that I saw on the site plan, but that would be, I think that would come out of some of the planning board stipulations. When they do their review, they would probably do stipulations like that. And I don't know what they're going to tell them about planting.
Okay.
That could solve some things.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's a good question. So, all right. All righty. Thank you all for that discussion. I appreciate it.
You stay
Okay,
on
does
like
anybody
white
else
on
have
rice.
anything else?
Well, I think Lauren was saying something. Lauren?
Go ahead, Lauren.
I said, I appreciate you staying on them like white on rice.
Trying. That's right. Lauren and I were both on the planning board. So so this is in our wheelhouse, so to speak.
Yeah, if we have one.
If we So, all right.
All right. So if no one else has anything else to say, then I guess I'll call the meeting adjourned.
Well, I don't know if you can, Maria-Elena, you can run it.
What?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Jackie or Ashley, could I get a copy of the budget when you get a chance? I have the budget statement, but I don't have the whole budget.
Sure. Can I send that to you tomorrow morning, or do you need it tonight?
Oh, tomorrow morning's fine. Thanks.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, actually, come to think of it, do we all have it? Did you email it to us, or is there a hard copy in the office for us to pick up?
I think Bill at the
It was-
beginning of the meeting emailed it out.
Just send it,
Perfect.
yeah, like 401.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
I made a motion to adjourn. I don't know if anybody wants to second it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, this is fun. Let's stay on for a while.
Yeah, no, we're staying here now.
Second,
This is it.
Okay.
I just sent out
Aye.
for pizza.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Have fun, everybody.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
night.
Good night, everyone.